Yo, what is up, guys? Bradley Walker here.
And 7.
We're going to talk to you guys today about NFP, non-farm payroll, the importance of this major news event that happens within the foreign exchange markets that definitely causes a lot of volatility, a lot of volume. So it's definitely something to pay attention to. So we're going to bring it to your guys' attention. I remember early on when 7 and I were trading in the foreign exchange markets, we had no idea what NFP was. It happens on the first Friday of every single month, and we were clueless. We were trading one Friday morning, way over leveraged to even begin with. So we were trading way too high of lot sizes. We had way too many trades open on the account that we were in. So it was already risky. And then on top of that, we were blindsided by NFP dropping because we had no clue what it was, when it dropped, anything about it. And it ended up blowing our account. Now, this was about 6-7 years ago, so this was early on in our career. And shortly after, it happened one more time after that. And 7 and I were like, look, dude, something's going on. We have to look into this. What the fuck? So we decided to research into this, actually learn that this is a major news event that definitely increases the markets. The markets go insane when this news event comes out most times. Depending on how the market players actually take the information coming out into effect and what they anticipate will happen based on the news coming out. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, hop over here, break down for you guys NFP and show you guys some of the ways that we trade during major news events like this. All right, guys. So as I said, when trading in the foreign exchange markets, it is super important to follow along with and to understand, not just watch and follow along, but to understand what the fundamentals are and how and why they're affecting the markets. So looking at this right here, Forex fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is the process of breaking down the impact of political, economic, and social factors on the relative value of a currency. Through identifying the primary drivers of a currency's intrinsic value, Forex participants are then able to craft informed trading decisions. So any news event that is going on, anytime something major happens in a country, anytime something like COVID, a pandemic hits, that is a major news event that is going to affect a currency pair. As you see, the US dollar has been getting absolutely destroyed. So when trading in the foreign exchange market, that is going to definitely affect an economy, affect the overall value of a currency, affect the amount of money that is being printed. A lot of stuff will come with that. So it's important as hell to pay attention to the news events. So that's what fundamental analysis is. It's a super important part, along with price action and a few other things when trading in the foreign exchange markets, to do it successfully. So in this video, talking about non-farm payroll. So non-farm payroll employment is a compiled name for goods, construction, and manufacturing companies in the US. It does not include farm workers, aka non-farm payroll, private household employees, or nonprofit organization employees. So this is super important, guys. It's going to show the overall employment for anything that is non-farm related, anything that is non-household employee or nonprofit related. So it is super important to pay attention to this because it shows a good gauge on how well an economy is doing. So if we switch over here to this website called Forex Factory, definitely a good site that we use to get a lot of our news information. You can see here tomorrow, non-farm payroll is going to be dropping, along with a lot of other US news events and some Canadian news events as well. But it'll be dropping at 8:30 in the morning, like I said, on the first Friday of every month. The change in number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. So you can see here, we have a forecast and then we have the actual. So the forecast is what they're expecting the numbers to come out and look like. So here they're expecting 645,000 new jobs in non-farm employment categories. You can see here last month, we ended up with 266K. This month, they're expecting a strong growth and recovery at 645K. You can see here previous. Super important news event. This can create a lot of volume, a lot of volatility when trading in the markets. So going to hop over here to MetaTrader and show you some of the ways that we trade during events like this, because what will happen a lot of times is you may buy or sell. A lot of times when news drops like this, the markets may rally in one direction, let's just say bullish, so they start spiking up. And then it's a fake out. And then the markets actually absorb and understand the news event that came out. They understand the fundamentals, and then the markets continue in the right direction or in the opposite direction. So we're going to hop over here, show you some of the ways that we trade during major news events like this. A lot of times we do what's called a market execution. That means as soon as you click sell or buy, it instantly executes that trade idea that you have in the foreign exchange markets. During major news events, what we like to do, however, this is the Euro USD, we like to set up our little SIR zones, our support and resistance. So you can see here, here's a little zone here where it hit, came down. You could say here's another little zone here, as well as right here that we had already had drawn. So what we will do is we'll come into here, trade the type to a pending order, and you're going to do a buy stop. And let's just say current price right here, we're looking at about, let's just say 1.2215 is a nice little break above that. So we'll go here, type in our entry 1.2215, place. And you can see here that it creates this order, but it is not yet executed. And then we'll do the same thing most times on the opposite direction. Unless we're pretty confident that it's going to go bullish or bearish, we'll typically flip-flop them. So then you'll come to a sell stop order. This is right around 1.2178. So let's say 75, 1.2175. And then you will place that. Now, what is going to happen is whenever that volatility comes, you're then going to get into that trade executed at the breakout, whether on the upside or the downside. So instead of just guessing, hopping into the markets, because even the best Forex traders don't always have an idea of what's going to happen when the news comes out. You can look at different data, do different analysis, and look at different forecasts and previous data to then kind of come up with an idea of what you think will happen. Nobody is really sure. Sometimes we've been trading the NFP and we've seen other people do it as well, where they expect it to increase the value of, let's just say, the US dollar. So they would expect this pair then to go down. And a lot of times it has gone in the opposite direction. So placing these buy stops and sell stops will then allow you to wait until the markets break out of the current consolidation, the current range, to then execute that trade and to hop in that trade, preventing any risk that you would have from any news events that do happen. So definitely pay attention to the fundamentals, the news. It is super important. Like I said here, we use this website, Forex Factory. Seven's going to jump into this a little bit to give you guys some more insight on this, but you can see here, non-farm employment, average hourly earnings, labor productive, unemployment rate, unemployment change, Fed Chair Powell speaking. There's a lot of news events that are going on constantly in the global market. And if you're trading these currency pairs, it's good to know what data and insight is going to overall affect the price of these pairs that you are trading.
Pretty much Brad went over everything, overviewed things well with NFP, but with Forex Factory, just so you guys understand the different colors there, the orange is the like mid-level, and yellow of course is like low level, and red is like high severity. So NFP of course is high severity. Brad, if you can go to the next day, you guys can see all these reds. This is NFP day, or the first Friday. So there's a lot of stuff that affects the Canadian dollar, US dollar. You see non-farm employment change. There's also the Fed Chair Powell speaking. So that's important. The Federal Reserve Chair obviously going to affect the US dollar. So it's definitely good to see the severity of the news, just so you're making sure you're not acting on news that's like yellow. You can act on that news, but it's not going to have as much of an effect as the red news. So
yeah, and sometimes even the red news, you know, people are expecting big moves, but I've definitely seen some very important news drop and there was almost little to no effect. So it's definitely good to have some insight when you're going into trading or into anything in life. You want to have some insight behind why you are making certain decisions. No matter what it is in your life, you have to have some insight. So this is definitely good, this website that we were using, like Seven was saying, you know, yellow, orange, and red, the severity levels of how important the news typically affects the markets and how important that news is for the overall economy in that currency pair that you were trading. So definitely have this stuff in your back pocket. Fundamental analysis is super important, as well as technical analysis and price action.
We also have a contest on June 20th. Drop a comment, follow us on our social media. All social media has to be followed: Twitter, Instagram, all of those. And put your Cash App and Bitcoin address. And June 20th, we're doing this contest. So
we have a free course coming out to give you guys some more information on that, as well as our Discord community and our social media platforms. So definitely check all of that stuff out. You guys can follow along with us, get some insight from other traders, and just overall have a community to help bounce ideas off with and to learn from and to grow with. So check out the links in the description of this video. We have a lot more content coming for you guys. Thanks for watching.